Welcome to another episode of
The Epic Family Road Trip, the Empty Nest Edition. Spot Carol found last night. We slept quite well. Very quiet back in there. Got a little bit of rain this morning, nothing too much, so we just packed up and we're back on the Trans-Canada heading west. We're taking you with us. As you can imagine, anywhere in northern Ontario, anywhere in the north really, the mosquitoes can be pretty bad. They get less and less as you get later into the year, but right now in August they're still pretty bad. So a couple of things for mosquito defense. One, get yourself a Thermocell or 2 or 3. They work great, and it does pretty effective job of getting rid of mosquitoes, at least in a small area. And then we have screens that slip over the windows so that we can have the windows partially open at night to have a breeze and some cool air, but the mosquitoes can't get in, and I'll show you those when I get a chance. But yeah, don't come out here without some kind of mosquito defense or you'll be miserable. We are looking for a coffee, so this place had some flashing lights saying it's open. We'll give it a try. We are in the middle of nowhere though. Glad we stopped. Good breakfast and coffee. Nice little break and get back on the road. This is the what they call the Arctic Watershed, so everything from this point on flows up to the Arctic Ocean. From this, it flows to the Great Lake. We pulled over on a logging road to stretch our legs and found a huge patch of delicious wild blueberries.
Wow, look how thick. I've never seen this many. Just so heavy, thick.
Never seen so many in my life. It's crazy. What an abundance. And there's raspberries too.
Ooh.
Just goes on. There's got to be trillions of them out there. No end to it. Oh well, we got enough for breakfast here.
Oof.
Wow. You could get buckets and bushels. Look at that. Just check that out.
I want to pick all of those. Like those are massive right there. Unbelievable. How fun.
We're just gonna have to leave them all behind. If someone's looking for a meal of blueberries, there are millions of them here. All right, well, we've been smelling a bit of exhaust the last little while, and we just had the engine light flash, which isn't a good sign. It means it misfired or something. And the exhaust smell could be a problem with the catalytic converter. So anyway, we're coming into a town here called Dryden, and we're gonna, there it goes again, we're gonna pull into a Napa Auto Pro garage station here and see what's wrong. They're gonna have to run some tests for us, so we'll let you know how it goes. Yeah, hi, we're traveling across Canada and coming into the area, and I think we had a misfire on a Jeep Wrangler. The
Okay.
do you guys have any? Would you be able to take a look at it tomorrow, maybe?
No, we're booked up till next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
We actually don't have anything till Friday the 26th.
Oh, I see. Okay. That's not. We're driving across Canada. We're just kind of looking for someone who could help us get these. I think it's just plugs that we need, but.
Okay. Yeah, sorry about that.
Same everywhere. I've called about, well, every place in town, about 5 places, and it'll be 2 weeks before they can look at us. Everyone's short-handed. All the shops here are, you know, booked for quite a ways in advance, and we're trying to get across the country. I was wondering if you might be able to.
We have the same issue right now. I'm just looking to see if I've got anything that I can juggle. I wouldn't even be able to get it in the door this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, sorry.
Well, 2 of these mechanics said if it's not that bad, which it isn't on the freeway, when we're on the highway, it doesn't misfire. So he said try getting to Winnipeg, Manitoba, which is a good 4 hours drive from here, and there should be a lot more options there. It's a big city, so let's go. I don't see any other option right now.
Maybe that's what the start of it was when I was in town and it wouldn't start.
Yeah. So we said we were going to go to Winnipeg, which is a 4-hour drive, but when we got on the freeway there, the light was flashing constantly. So we turned around and came back to Fountain Tire. I'd called them and they said they could take it in on Monday, which is, we'd have to wait 4 days. It's now Wednesday. But we stopped in and they were kind enough to take it in right away to at least scan it. So they're running a diagnostic on it now. They won't be able to do the repair, but at least we'll have a really good idea what's going on. So appreciate the Fountain Tire guys for taking us in so quickly on such short notice. Right, so they ran the diagnostics, and you can hear it, what's happening. It sounds like one cylinder is not firing, and it could be as simple as just a coil. So thankfully they said they're moving some things around and making some room for us around 1 o'clock. So they said go grab something to eat, come back at 1, and they'll look at it, and if it's just a faulty coil, they could have a new coil on and we'd be on our way. Next possibility is it's plugs, and then that's a couple hours work apparently, and that probably won't happen until Monday. And so let's hope for the best. All right, good evening. We are parked here right by a beautiful lake. So here's an update on what kind of went down today. We were able to get the Jeep in for diagnostics, and they found that it's not firing, or it's misfiring from time to time on cylinder 1. We're in a small town, so they don't have the parts handy, so they sent out for parts. They're hoping they'll arrive by Friday. It's Wednesday now, so we found this beautiful spot where we can spend a couple days camping by the lake, and we're happy about that. It's nice to get off the road for a bit and just slow down. We have a plan A and a plan B. Plan A, everything will arrive, basically it's the coils and the spark plugs will arrive on Friday, and the good folks here will take us in Friday and maybe overflow into Saturday, and then we'll be on our way. If the parts don't arrive, we're just going to head to Winnipeg because we also have an appointment there, and they have all the parts in stock. So I think we're in good shape. Either way, we're going to get the Jeep fixed, and we'll be back on the road to Tuktoyaktuk. We weren't expecting a delay here on the far west side of Ontario, but we're not complaining because it's a beautiful, beautiful place to spend a couple of days waiting for parts to come in.
Good morning. Did the kids wait? glass jar.
Up north. So for mosquito control, I was mentioning earlier, we use these, they're actually listed on Amazon as a universal window sunshade, but they work great because they're screened as a mosquito control as well. Down like this, and then it, when you shut the door, it forms a seal. And I usually have my window closed a little bit to, you know, stop anything from going under. But then you can have your window at least half or 3/4 of the way open, get a nice breeze going through at night and not worry about mosquitoes. The other product we use for mosquito control around the camp is called the Thermocell. And this is the model we like. It's got a little bit of butane in the bottom. And we always have a good box of refills. And then there's a little blue pad that sits on top, and it has a tiny flame. You just light it like this. And you can hear when it's running. And then the heat goes under that pad, and the pad lasts a good 5-6 hours, but and then you just quickly replace it. But it works, they say, about 15 feet around your camp. We don't expect it to be that far, so we set it, you know, somewhere nearby where we're sitting, but they work great. The other thing is, if you are in a heavy mosquito area and you left your doors open for a while, what we do is set it inside when we're not in there, because they're not meant to be used inside with you. We will set it inside, close the doors, and within 10 minutes, all the mosquitoes are dead and gone. And then we turn it off, let it air out a bit, and hop in. So a little bit of mosquito control intel for you. Alright, we just got a call from the shop here, and the parts have arrived, so that's good news. I'm heading over there to get it in the shop, and let's hope everything goes smoothly and we can be back on the road either tonight or tomorrow morning. I'm back in the Jeep. I just picked it up. It was a coil and a spark plug on cylinder 1 that was misfiring, so they've replaced that. And we were going to do all 6 while we were down there, but they were able to get access to the one that was misfiring without having to take half the engine apart, which is what you have to do for all 6. So it made a lot more sense just to get the damaged one fixed, and off we go. Country town, you got deer walking down the streets just like people. We're now in Kenora, and it's probably an hour and a half or so, and then we'll be crossing into Manitoba. So we're thankful. The engine so far has done amazing, so that seems to have been the problem, the one spark plug or coil. And we're back on the road heading west. Okay, engine update. We drove an hour and a half to Kenora, no problems whatsoever. We stopped for gas, and basically as soon as we took off again, we started getting that same flashing engine light and a bit of a rumbling in the engine, so what they call a misfire. So unfortunately, we still have some kind of a problem. Even though they replaced the one coil and the one plug, we might have to get them all replaced. With so many miles ahead, we don't want to just keep driving like this. We want to get it fixed now. The last thing we want to do is run into issues when we're on the Dempster or something like that in a very remote place. So that's the update. I wish I had better news, but we're gonna have to get this fixed again. When we arrived in Manitoba, we decided to get off the highway for a bit and give Lando a chance to stretch his legs. We then carried on west before noticing something was missing. It appears we left the GoPro behind, unfortunately, so now we're 20 minutes up the road or more. So we went to turn around, ended up in a swamp. I just put it in 4 and just hammered it through there. We got out okay, but now we're getting back on the highway. We got to go back to that spot. Hopefully no one's picked up our GoPro. Hopefully that's where we left it. Hopefully a lot of stuff. And then we'll
Jeep
make
is
our way.
really acting up.
Yeah. And then we're praying that the Jeep keeps running, and we'll make our way back and we'll get this thing in for service.
There is that's it right there.
Yeah, that's it.
There it is.
Got it.
Sweet. I'm so glad we came back.
We came back and we found it. It's a GoPro 10. We didn't want to walk away from another one. We've made that mistake too many times.
No, looks perfect.
It's in good shape.
Just turn it on.
Turn it on, see if it works. It works. And it's not only that, it's the footage that's on it, you know?
Yeah.
Can't replace the missing footage. So this is the dead center point of Canada, the longitudinal center of Canada. 96 degrees, 48 minutes, 35 seconds. Got Worsley in for, well, hopefully it'll go in soon for another shot at repairing it. They're going to run another diagnostic to see if they can find out what's going on, and hopefully we can get this solved and get back on the road. We're a couple days delayed on our trip and we've got a long ways to go. So all right, I'm back at the shop here. The Jeep is done apparently. It wasn't plugs or coils. It was a gasket leak of some sort and an oil sensor, or sorry, an O2 sensor. So anyway, that's above my pay grade. Whatever it is, they got it fixed and that should do the job. So the plugs and coils were fine. So anyway, let's hope this is the last time seeing the inside of a shop for a long time, and we are excited to get back on the road, and we're going to try and make up some headway because we've lost a bunch of days with the vehicle being down. So time to make up some roadway and get up to the Arctic. Right, we've done about 2 hours now on the road, and I don't really want to say anything too loudly, but because you remember what happened last time, but I think we solved the problem. I sure hope so. No flashing lights, everything looks good. So now we're heading west and on our way. All right, we've gone a couple hours now into about the middle point of Manitoba. We're out in the middle of the prairie, and we found this spot. It looks like it's a parking lot for a whole series of hiking trails for just overnight camping, I guess. But yeah, it looks like it'd be a great spot. We're going to get camp set up and hit the hay, and then get back on the road first thing in the morning. Good morning. We had a wonderful sleep here. Very quiet, beautiful place out here overlooking the prairies. Just wonderful. We were just going to make coffee and hit the road, but I think there's a town about 12k ahead, which I'm sure would have a Timmy's in there, and we'll just get a coffee on the road. That gives us a few extra minutes to make up time and get as far as we can today. You got that droopy-eared look. You're getting a fancy new jacket on so everyone can see you. Stay warm.
Yeah, look at you.
Energy. Ready, buddy? Crossed all of Manitoba, but this whole area is just thousands, tens of hundreds of thousands of acres of wheat fields. It's the breadbasket of Canada. So when you have a bagel in the morning, or a wrap, or a pizza for lunch or something, this is where that grain comes from. So a beautiful place, but we are pressing westward, and we're going to try to cross the entire province of Saskatchewan today and get into Alberta somewhere. So that's the plan. Report on the Jeep, it's running amazingly. No, it's going great. Everything's going well. Thankfully, looks like we found the problem and we're good to go. So come with us. We're heading northwest. GPS, and it's got us on this little dirt road. I'm not sure why drive it. I think it's going around some construction or something. Lando wants to run, doesn't he? All right, so we made it right across all of Saskatchewan today. That was a good drive. We're now in Alberta. We're gonna head in and find a camp spot, maybe half an hour from here, something like that. If we can find one, something off the highway, and have a good night's sleep and then carry on. I'd imagine tomorrow we'll get most of the way, if not right across Alberta. And our goal is to get to Dawson Creek, British Columbia, which is the start of the Alaska Highway. I look forward to taking you with us. This place we pulled into is just a little local, maintained by the locals, little campground. It's called Hazel Campground. It has no services, it's just free camping, first come first serve. There's nobody camping here right now, so we are just gonna pick a site that suits us best and get set up. Looks like a beautiful spot, not too far off the road, but the traffic will be minimal or non-existent for sure in a couple hours. So yeah, we're gonna get squared away for the night and maybe get some food going.
Good boy. Ready? Go get it.
All right, in this week's video, we start around this area in Ontario and made our way out here where we ended up having some engine problems. Ended up staying, camping by a beautiful lake, getting that fixed partially, then in towards Winnipeg, getting the rest of the work done. And then from there, we headed all the way across Manitoba, all the way across Saskatchewan, and we're now sitting somewhere here just inside Alberta. Tomorrow we're going to try to make the push all the way across to Dawson City in British Columbia, the start of the Alaska Highway. After that, it's heading all the way to the Arctic. So still a long ways to go, but we're making some pretty good headway. We've gone more than halfway.
Woohoo!
Oh, we made it to the beginning of the Alaska Highway, Dawson City, BC.
Oh, there's Epic Family.
Oh, yeah, that's right. When did we put that on?
Can't remember.
I'm trying to remember. Oh, it was when we were coming back after in 2020 when we couldn't get into Yukon.
Oh yeah.
Very cool. All right, we made it from Ontario to British Columbia. We are in Dawson City, and as you can see behind me, there's the sign, which is the start of the Alaska Highway, which leads up into Yukon. It'll take us as far as Whitehorse, Yukon, and then we'll jump on a road going north, and we'll get on the Dempster and just keep going till the end of the road. So we're excited to be here, and we can't wait to take you with us. And in the meantime, we'll see you down the road.